gardener, I am desperate. Please, please, can you help me? We've been in the house for a year, we haven't even touched the garden, haven't got a clue what to do with it. I mean, for instance, look at all this gravel. This isn't working either. We've got a whole mishmash of designs and different styles. We've got the Chinese Buddha, we've got the Old English wheel. That doesn't mix at all with the Mexican chimenea. And the rest of it, I just haven't got a clue. And while we're here, this crazy paving, look at it, it's just driving me crazy. Please help.
We heard your plea, Kim. We've come to help. Sven, take a look.
Oh, it's a lot worse than I thought.
Sven, what do you mean?
It's totally confused and mixed up. Down here we've got a Buddha next to what looks like a cartwheel from a wagon. We've got a chimenea over here. And looking down here at the paving, we've got a mix of colours and shapes next to crazy paving with gravel. And then moving to the other side of the garden, we've got what looks like a mock Victorian lamp. And then the worst monstrosity on this shed is a plastic water feature. It's got to go.
Now, don't take this to heart, Kim, but you have a crazy mixed-up garden with an identity crisis. So not only does it need radical surgery, it needs a bit of counselling as well.
Obviously, you've taken influences from different countries, so I think we're going to kind of go towards a Mexican theme in this garden. We're going to have probably a deck here where the gravel and pavers are, some really nice big plants just to enclose it all a bit, and whatever else we can think of along the way, I think we'll chuck in.
The designer is Sven Wombwell. The patient is the Mexican garden in Watford. Sven's diagnosis: it's a hodgepodge of colours and shapes. The treatment is to create a central decking area and to use big plants to frame the garden. As Sven has just said, Kim's garden is a crazy mixed-up garden full of conflicting styles and planting schemes. Sven's idea is to bring all the areas together in a central Mexican theme with a careful use of exotic plants that can withstand the unpredictable British climate.
What we're going to do here is, this is the dodgy gravelled area with the nasty paving slabs. We're going to build a nice decked courtyard area, totally surrounded with short-growing box hedge. It'll create its own area, which is going to be far more usable than it is now. First things first, Jamie, if you wouldn't mind getting rid of that lamp. Nick, if you wouldn't mind starting to mark it up. Adam, if you can whip that brick line out, and I can start clearing the lovely Buddha and all these stones. Do you want the breaker on that? Right. Or he's going to stick it out in the front garden.
Once we had cleared the area, we started work on creating a sturdy frame for the deck. The frame is put on top of the concrete, and because the concrete isn't level, Sven needs to secure the frame by digging a hole and sinking each corner post into it. However, this is proving a bit more difficult than he first thought.
Well, we've hit the first wall of the day, and unfortunately, it's underground. So I'm going to have a go at it with this puppy and see if it comes up. That's it, deep enough. We got a post ready for this hole, Nick?
Yeah, there's one right in front of you.
See that one there?
Building a frame for decking is very labour intensive, and to make sure it's even, it's really important to check the levels continually.
It's level as a snooker table.
Sven, one post. Where do you want it?
In the hole.
In the hole.
Shove it in.
What are you planning with this?
Pergola.
What kind?
I was going to do full posts, couple of cross beams.
No.
I agree.
No.
It's gonna, I mean, it will come into the deck far too much.
Too
Help me out. Ideas, please.
You're the designer, you sort it out.
Come on.
How about something lower, about 4 foot above the deck? We box it up, have a plant cascading down, clad it with some timber.
Simple. That'd be a nice entrance too, wouldn't it?
Great, do it.
Wicked. Let's do it. Thank you. Very glad I thought of that.
Cheeky. When we came in this morning, we noticed that Kim had very little planting space, and yet she's got all the sun in this corner. So what I'm going to be doing is cutting out a flower bed for her with the angle grinder.
While Adam cuts up the concrete to make a bigger flower bed, Sven starts work on Adam's suggestion for the entrance to the deck by cutting the timber to clad the posts.
As an alternative to decking boards, we're using these scaffold boards here. They're twice as thick, twice as wide, and half the price. The only thing you need to remember is to cut off these bands. Also, you'll need to treat them as well.
Oh my
She has
gosh!
Oh, look, it's an Ordnance Survey map with a grid reference. What's going on?
It's the beginnings of your deck. Frame is in. Just getting the posts concreted in so we can start decking on top.
Why are you cladding a
Why are we
piece of
cladding?
wood?
Because I haven't got a bit thick enough, so I've had to enlarge the post by totally cladding it in.
Right,
It's
so you
wood.
have to do that twice.
I'd have to do that twice. Cut the
That's-
top off, put a shelf on, bang.
Why particularly do you want Steve to sort of not know about any of this?
Well, basically, since we've been together, it's always Steve that has surprised me, and it's never been the other way round. So this is payback time.
Right, you've never surprised him.
Nope.
How long have you been together?
7 years.
That's a shocking thing to admit on television. For 7 years, the man's been thinking of lovely things for Christmas and birthday, but do you think this will make up for it?
More than make up for it.
Is it going to knock his socks off, do you think?
He's going to be stunned.
All right. Centre of the bubble. Almost, yeah.
End of day one, packing up time because we're just losing the light. Now, Sven, how have we got on today?
We've done all right. Not quite as far ahead as I wanted to be. but
Right.
I'm confident. Tomorrow will be all right.
So what's happened over here?
Well, down here we've cut the line for what's going to be a new bed. Needs a bit of repointing on the edges here because it's crumbled a bit.
Of the crazy paving,
Exactly, but that's a little job for Nick tomorrow, no problem.
yeah? OK, little job for Nick, keep him busy. And up here onto the glorious decking, through the fantastic plinths, over machinery. What's happening here?
This is actually going to stay as a bed as well. We're going to plant a nice focal tree in the corner here. Bit of planting just to, you know,
Right.
make it all look
Still
pretty.
got the hideous gewgaw there.
We have.
Are we getting rid of that yet?
Yes, we will. I keep promising.
That's really getting on my nerves now, that is. Now, this decking, it's gorgeous, but, you know, it's lovely. It's like a little stage, and I've no tap shoes with me. But it's a bit kind of empty. What's going to happen on it?
Well, in the middle, right here, I'm going to build a square, slightly raised up.
Yeah.
And in there, I'm going to put a focal point, which is where you come in tomorrow.
Okay.
Another shopping trip.
You're going to have me standing there?
Absolutely.
I am the focal point. Right, you want Kim and I to go searching for a focal
If you
point?
would.
Right, we will do that first thing tomorrow. You will be back here first thing tomorrow to crack on. And now I think it's pack up and early bed because it's a busy day.
Arrived. The Garden ER team plans to create a central decking area with a Mexican-themed focal point in the middle and extend the beds to fill with exotic plants that can withstand the British weather.
String lines tight, Sven, if you can mark that centre.
This is the centre spot where the stone's going to go if Kim and Katrina can find what I've asked for.
How do you choose a rock when one rock looks pretty much like another? Well, it's all a matter of personal taste, and Kim and I settled on a large rock with a pinkish colour that we felt was in keeping with the Mexican theme. The rocks are priced according to their weight, and this one weighed in at, a ton. Well, almost.
I've just been snooping around behind the shed here and it's amazing what you can find. Apart from all the spiders, which I hate, I found these terracotta pots, which has given me a really good idea. This might seem brutal, but what I'm going to do I'm going to smash these up, probably a bit smaller, and use them as a surface in front of the entranceway. It's not very good for bare feet, but it'll look brilliant. And another thing, this thing's still here, and I can't smash it, unfortunately, because it's made of plastic. The shed's locked, we can't get in there to unscrew it, so I think Kim's trying to hint at something here, but we're not having it. Just putting the finishing touches to the box here in the middle, with some nice hardwood on top. Talking of box, we're going to plant all the way around this decking area with box shrubs to enclose it. In a minute, hopefully, Nick's going to start sanding this down. We've heard rumours of rain, so we're going to get an emergency tarpaulin up so this doesn't get wet, so once it's sanded, we can stain it.
Because Sven's looking for a Mexican feel, I've decided to torch his garden to get that burnt ranch look.
This log here was Kim's husband's best garden feature. With the help of a chainsaw, I'm going to make it into a garden feature worth having.
And that garden feature is a seat. Sven saws a piece from either end of the log to create a flat surface before fixing the legs. And then, as a finishing touch, Adam strips away the old bark to give a ranchero look. And as rain threatens, a makeshift tarpaulin cover is brought out to protect the deck and the power tools.
Hello, boys. I've got a rock delivery for you. My word, it's heavy. What are we doing with the canopy up? Are we having a function?
Heaven's opened.
Well, it's all right now. Oh, you're just a wimp. Anyway, we're going to need someone to move that onto there.
Nick!
Where is he?
Hello!
It's Papa Smurf. Can you do the honour? Go on. Show us how butch you are. Let's get out of the way. Makes it look so easy, Kim. Sven, what do you think of it? Happy with our choice?
Absolutely perfect. I'm just glad it fits.
So's Papa Smurf. Otherwise you'd have to take it off and we'd have to go and get another one.
Okay, last screw. We thought we'd cover this window because it looks a bit too English. Nick, get that thing off.
Certainly.
Yes.
Plug off.
Looks like a big worm, doesn't it?
Disgusting.
Come on in.
It gets better and better. Do you want to keep this, Kim? Or can we just destroy it?
What happened to it?
Well, the bottom's come off, first of all.
But that's all right. That's
And now
easy
the
to
top's
fix.
come off.
We really, really need it for firewood.
Do you want us to keep it where it is? We'll put it back together for you. I promise we'll put it back together.
Okay.
All right.
Sven's got me digging another hole out. Apparently it's meant to be a motif, so walking into there, you'll have a nice big square full of this stuff. The recycled pots that he found behind the shed. But it will look good.
Well, as the boys couldn't remove the shed, I'm having to paint it. And I was being helped by Nick, but he can't do this side because, could you imagine, his arms are too thick, apparently, to go between the shed and the tree. And then I did point out he could go around that way. But anyway, that's Papa Smurf for you. Now, it's coming on here, but I am a little concerned that there's one of those essential garden features missing, and that's plants.
The plants have arrived. We've got these great peppers, we've got figs, we've got an olive tree, we've got clematis. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be a really colourful jungle.
We're using box planting here, A, because it doesn't grow very fast, B, because there's not a lot of light, and C, because it just looks damn great. We're planting an olive tree in this corner of the garden. This one's actually got an olive here, which is quite rare. The reason it's here is because this is the only part of the garden where it gets quite a lot of sun. It needs a lot of sun. It's used to quite hot temperatures. It's not a Mexican plant, but hey, you know, we can't plant Mexican plants in England.
Really is looking rather Mexican.
Okay.
Hi. It looks wonderful, but what is it?
What is it? This is a fig, and it's actually got fruit on it. And if you're lucky, providing there's a lot of sun here, you may even get some edible fruits off it. In terms of looking after it, it does grow quite fast, so this is about the only plant that's going to need a bit of maintenance in the garden.
Right.
Okay, that'll do, Kim.
Okay.
If you keep digging some holes, space them about so and so,
Right.
about this sort of distance apart, we'll have a nice block of colour. We're putting in these ornamental peppers here. They're ornamental, don't forget you can't eat them, but they just give that flavour of Mexico, and they look fantastic from the shooting area over there.
And here is the finished result. This is what Kim's garden looked like before the garden ER team arrived. A complete mess. It's not long before Kim's husband Steve is due home, and we think he'll be delighted with the result. And I must say, I think the rock works very well.
Come on through.
Steve, hello. Come and say hello. Nice to meet you. My name's Katrina.
Hello, Katrina.
We are from Garden ER and we came and saved your garden. This is Sven, who did the Mexican-inspired design. This is Adam.
Hi, Adam.
You saved it.
And this is Nick. This is Nick, who's been giving it a bit of counselling and making it laugh by looking like Papa Smurf all day.
My God.
Well, what do you
difference.
think?
It's not a garden.
It was my idea and I'm the one crying.
Well, you've always said you'll get me back, and you have, haven't you?
Well, we thought after 7 years of you surprising Kim, it was about time. Now you will see that we've kept ye olde English cartwheel.
You love that.
Right,
That's gone.
Yes. Now the lamp, were you attached to it?
No, not really.
Because we hated it. We hated it. It went. The Buddha is now in your fireplace. We've done a bit of interior design. That hideous plastic terracotta thing on the shed.
Good.
Yep, that went. And your little shed there, baby shed,
Ed.
almost went. Would you have been upset if it had gone?
Probably, yeah.
Would you have missed it?
Yes, I would.
We were right to have kept it. Hooray, because it didn't want to give in and go, did it? It proved very
It would have probably
problematic.
collapsed more than move.
That, funnily enough, is exactly what it is. So we kept it, gave it sort of, made it match the mummy shed there. Go for a walk around your decking together. Go on.
Oh, we could have breakfast out on the decking.
Yes, we trimmed down the... I love all this wee I do. I swept up.
Steve would have done. Yes, I don't think so.
Okay, Steve, you've had a little while to let it sink in. So what do you think of your Mexican-inspired garden?
I think it's absolutely fantastic, Katrina. It is superb. Just can't believe that Kim got away with it after all this time. She finally got me back.
She has, good and proper. Now, a final word from Sven. You did want to say something about the hedge.
A bit practical, but basically with the box you can grow it as high as you want. You can clip it back, you can cut it into a square shape, what I think you should do is cut it into a square, which will frame the deck beautifully.
Or you could let it grow really, really high and have a little secret garden within the garden. You can get up to all sorts of hijinks. But anyway, it's a Mexican-inspired garden, ER. We have tequila. They've got the salt and lime, but I don't do complicated drinking. So I'm glad you like the garden. I hope you have lots of pleasure from it. We'll see you again soon on Garden ER. Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers.
Always remember, when you're using power tools, do follow the recommended safety instructions.